Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear students, open your science textbooks, please. Open your science textbooks and come on page 36. Today, inshallah, we will discuss page 36, 37, and 38. So open your science textbook, come on page 36, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam. So dear students, are you there?
Yes, sir. Ready for.
Okay. Today, my topic of discussion is the periodic table. And inshallah, at the end of this lecture, you will be able to know about what is a periodic table. Also, you will be able to understand the groups and periods in periodic table. Before starting our today's lecture, let's review your previous knowledge. Previously, we were talking about the ions. So anybody of you who knows about the ion or who knows exactly the ion, how to define the ion is? Yes, come on.
Abdullah Uzair.
Abdullah Uzair will answer.
Sir, and when an atom gains an electron, like it borrows an electron from the other atom, so it becomes an ion. And if it borrows when it borrows electron, so it becomes negative ion, and which loses the ion, which loses the electron, it is called positive ion.
Okay, fine. Okay, Ghulam Hassan Shahzad, you raise your hand. You want to give the
Sir,
answer?
can I tell ions?
Okay, you can please.
Sir, when an atom loses or gain one more electron, it changes into ion.
Okay, when an atom gains or loses electrons, what happens? It becomes ionic. Okay, and an ion is a pair over there.
Every atom that its second shell have full maximum number of electrons, so it borrows from the other electron.
Okay,
The other electron which has only one electron in second shell, it gives it in the second ion, so that both have the maximum number of ion electron in their shells.
Okay, very good, very nice. Okay, so how the ions are formed? In most of the reactions or some chemical reactions, the electrons that surrounds the nucleus moves from one atom to another. Okay, an atom with one or more additional electron, that is what's called the negative ion or anion. An atom which has lost one or more electron is called a positive ion, and that is what's called cation. Dear students, look at this picture. This picture will explain you how the anions and cations were formed there. This is a sodium atom. You can clearly see, okay? Na is the symbol of sodium. And we all know that the outermost shell of sodium have only one electron. There is only one electron in the outermost shell of sodium. Look at here, this is a chlorine atom. And we all know that the chlorine atom have 7 electrons in its outermost shell. Okay, the chlorine atom have 7 electrons in its outermost shell, and the sodium have only 1 electron in its outermost shell. Now the chlorine needs only 1 electron to complete its outermost shells, and if it reaches to the sodium atom, it collects the electron from the sodium atom and it completes its outermost shell by adding 1 electron in the outermost shell. Now the sodium atoms lacks 1 electron. Because 1 electron is removed from the sodium atom, so 1 more proton is there as compared to electrons. So proton have a positive charge, and that's why the sodium appears a positive ion. Okay, the sodium will be appear in the form of positive ion. Now come towards the chlorine. Chlorine have an extra electron, and we all know that electron have a negative charge. So the charge on chlorine will be appear negative, and that is why it is so called anion. Okay, so sodium becomes positive charge ion, and that is also called cations, and chlorine becomes negative charge ion, and that is also called anion. Yes, students, you know that to be able to move quickly around the nucleus, electrons have to be very light. Our electrons are very light. Uh, they are revolving around the nucleus, and its mass is very, very lesser than that of the proton. Even 1836 electrons were joined together to complete one proton, or the mass of one proton. Or in other words, we can say that the mass of 1836 electrons will equals to the mass of only one proton. So you have to imagine that how lighter the electron is as compared to that of proton and neutron, because the masses of the proton and neutron were quite equal to each other. Now
Sir,
let's give it a.
sir, if electrons are so light that they if 1836 electrons combine together to make one proton, this also means that there will be a new unit in mass, and that means in weighing there will come a new unit that can approximately calculate what is the correct amount of one electron.
Exactly. A very good question. This is, yes. In atomic scale, we are using a different unit, not the grams, kilograms, and milligrams, because these are the quite higher units for such particles, because they were so light. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
we were moving towards a very, very smaller units, and that is also called AMU, atomic mass units. Okay, those units are used for such particles, to deal with such particles, because the mass of the electron, proton, and neutron are quite very, very smaller as compared to the other things. So we are using different unit, and that is also called AMU. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now come towards the periodic table. What is a periodic table? Do you know what is a periodic table? Yes, students, periodic table is nothing but a tabular display of the chemical elements. Okay, you have to put the elements in different places or in a particular table according to their certain characteristics or properties, with the help of which you can arrange such elements. So that table is what's so called a periodic table. It is a tabular display of the chemical elements which are arranged by the atomic number, according to their atomic numbers, electronic configuration, and recurring chemical properties. Recurring chemical properties means that they are repeating their chemical properties again and again. Okay, so that's why such elements are placed in a specific position in the periodic table. We all know that there are more than 100 different elements are discovered yet, and each with different properties. Okay, for example, the properties of iron will be quite different from that of a gold, and the properties of gold will be quite different from that of sodium. Sodium properties are quite different from chlorine. Okay, so different elements have different properties. The periodic table displays all the elements in the order of their atomic number. Now, anybody of you who knows about the atomic number? Yes, come on, who will tell me about the
Sir,
atomic number?
Mohammed Hanzala.
Muhammad Hanzala will answer this.
Abdul
Yes.
Jain.
Sir,
Abdul
atomic number means the number which is the simple words. The number of protons is equal to the number of atomic number.
Well, the number of protons present in an atom is so called the atomic number of that element is. Okay, the number of proton in an element is so called the atomic number of that element. So in periodic table, the elements are arranged there according to their atomic numbers. Okay, what
Sir,
higher
actually, they are according to their electrons. They are arranged according
number
to
of, yes,
electrons.
number of electrons or number of protons, because in a neutral atom, the number of protons is equal to a number of electrons.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come towards the periodic table. This is a tabular display, and this is also called a periodic table. You can clearly see here that there are two types of lines over there. One is horizontal and the other one is vertical. Okay, this is also called horizontal lines, and these are so-called vertical lines. These are so-called vertical lines. So a combination of horizontal lines and vertical lines are so-called table, and this table represents you the arrangement of different elements according to their atomic number. Now, how the elements are placed there and what is present there in each and every block. So we will discuss that now. You can clearly see boxes like this. So at the top of the block, you can observe the atomic number. Below that, symbol of the element will be there. After that, name of the element will be there. And at the bottom, you will observe the mass number of such element is. So in each and every box, you will observe 4 different things. The first one is the number, that is also called atomic number. The second one is the symbol of that element is. The third one is the name of the element. And the last one is the mass number of that element. For example, let's consider a hydrogen atom. So the name of the element is hydrogen, symbol is H, atomic number is 1, and mass number is 1. It will be showing like this. 1 is the atomic number, H is the symbol of the element, hydrogen, name of the element is hydrogen, and the last one is mass number of the element, hydrogen. Another example is, let's consider carbon atom. Name of the element is carbon, symbol is C, atomic number is 6, and mass number is 12. It will be look like this. 6, C, carbon, and 12. So this is a representation of an element in the periodic table. Now come towards the groups and periods in the periodic table. What are groups and periods? Let's discuss groups and periods. The table has several rows called periods. Okay, these are the rows. You can clearly see the horizontal line. These are so-called rows, and these rows are so-called periods. Okay, they were so-called periods. It is arranged from left to right. Okay, it starts from left and it ends to the right. As a result, elements with similar properties are arranged in a vertical lines. Those elements whose properties are identical or similar, then they are arranged in a vertical lines, these lines. And these lines are so-called groups. So periodic table is a combination of periods and groups. These things are quite clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The zigzag line at the right-hand side of the periodic table divides the metals and non-metals. Where is the zigzag line? Anybody of you who knows about that zigzag line?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
after here,
boron. I can write from boron.
Yes. Let me
Sir,
highlight
sodium,
that.
boron,
Yes,
silicon.
let me highlight that line is. This is also called the zigzag line. This line. This is a zigzag line. This zigzag lines divides the metals from non-metals. Now the question is raised here. What is made by metals? Yes, who will explain what is metal?
Abdullah Uzair.
Abdullah Uzair.
Metal have different properties. Metals are different than non-metal. Non-metal are those objects which are easy to break and easy to melt, and metals are opposite of to them.
Okay,
Metals are
okay.
like iron,
Okay,
aluminum.
Muhammad Hanzala. Muhammad Hanzala, will you able to answer this? Yes.
Secretary
Metals
Mahad.
I can write Muhammad
Mahad.
metals
Okay.
are shiny.
Hanzala will answer first.
Metals are shiny. They are bright in color. They do not corrode with each other. They have high melting points, and
Okay,
they are unreactive.
very good, very nice.
Uh,
Okay, now
Sir,
who
can
will
I
tell me
also
about the
ask?
Unreactive.
non-metals?
Sir, can I tell Muhammad Amar Minhas?
Yes, metals are reactive, non-metals are unreactive. Okay. Yes, come on, please, better.
Um, Sir, non-metals are easily to break. They don't have high melting point, and they are not shiny.
Okay, so non-metals are those elements who do not conduct heat and electricity easily. The first thing is. The second thing is surfaces are quite dull, not polished. Okay, metals are polished. Usually metals are polished, but non-metals are dull surfaces. Their melting point and boiling point are quite lower to that of the metals. Okay, non-metals have lower melting point and boiling point, and they can be easily breakable. Okay, they can be easily breakable, and they are usually unreactive. They are not reacting with other elements. So these are the properties of metals and non-metals. I hope you will got these. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this is the periodic table. You can clearly see this zigzag line represent the metals and non-metals, separation between the metals and non-metals. These are the metals. Okay, this portion is what's so called metals, and this is what's so called non-metals. Okay, these are metals. The left side is
Sir,
yes.
sir, it means all the elements are on the left side.
Usually they are metals. Yes,
Sir, I have a question.
yes. You can ask, please.
Sir, but there is written in the periodic table, you can see on the left side, sir, lanthanide and actinoids.
Lanthanide and Altanide series.
So what is the meaning of that?
These are a particular elements. This is what's so called the Lanthanide series. Okay, this one. And this is also called the Octanide series. But you will discuss such things in your earlier classes, because in Lanthanide series and Octanide series, it will continue from here, from this point. Okay, from this point, the Lanthanide series start, and from this point, the Octanide series start. Okay, these are the additional elements that are discovered with the passage of time. Clear?
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now come towards the metals, non-metals, and metalloid. Okay, you can clearly see this is what's so called a zigzag line that separates the metals from non-metals. But in between the metals and non-metals, we will see some different elements that behaves like metals sometimes, and it behaves like non-metals sometimes. Okay, so its behavior is quite changed with the passage of temperature. At higher temperature, they are behaving like metals, and at lower temperature, it behaving like non-metals. Okay, so these elements are also called metalloids. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Sir, lithanides and antionides are uh, they are the elements which are made by humans, artificial elements.
artificial.
They were
Yeah, exactly,
discovered after the elements.
exactly. Okay, so all of you knows about the metals, non-metals, and metalloids.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, anybody of you who will tell me, Abdullah Farooq will answer this. What are metalloids and what are the properties of metalloids? Yes, Abdullah Farooq, come on, please.
The metalloids are those which like metals, then like they act in different temperature, they act differently. In different temperature, they act like metals, and in another temperature, they act like non-metals.
Okay. Somebody else will explain his answer.
Sir, Muhammad Amar Minhas.
Yes, Muhammad Ammar Minhas will answer.
Sir, metalloids are those materials
Yes,
which
properties.
in
Yes, in between the
in
metals
high
and non-metals.
temperature they react like.
Okay. At higher temperature,
sir-
they are behaving like metals, and at lower
Sir,
temperature,
on this page we can understand that most of the elements are metals.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the elements are metals. The red one are
Sir, can
so-called
I
metals.
reply what are metalloids?
What?
Sir, can I reply what are metalloids, Mohammed
Yeah,
Hamzala?
exactly. You can please.
Sir, metalloids are elements which have half of qualities of metals and half qualities of non-metals.
Very good. Very nice. Okay. Should I move to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another interesting information is here for you. The copper, silver, and gold belongs to a chemical family. Okay. These three makes a family, and that is what's so called coinage metals. All of them are metals, so they belong to a particular family, and that is what's so called coinage metals. Why it
Sir,
is so called?
only these three metals are coinage metals.
Yes. Why it is so called coinage metals? Yes. Who will tell me?
Because they
Yeah,
are
because
unreactive, they are not corrode and
Because they are used for making coins.
Yes.
Okay. It is used, they are used for making coins, so that's why they were so called coinage metals.
yes, sir.
Why
The
why they
spellings
are
are
used?
point
Why
and
they
H.
are used for the manufacture of coins? Because they are unreactive, they do not corrode, and as a result have been used for making coins. Okay, and all of them are belongs to the same group or same column of the periodic table. This is the column where they are belongs to.
Sir, here there are groups 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
8. But
Yes.
in middle there are no groups. In middle,
Because
the whole area of yellow.
yes, exactly. This is what so called group B. All the above other these are so called group A. From here to here, these are so called group A elements. This group is what so called group B. This group is so called
Group B.
Group B.
group B. These
Group
are
B.
the dense elements usually. Okay, they are belong to
Okay,
group
sir.
B and they are dense elements, and their
Which
properties. G.
They are heavy. They are heavy.
ये सारे वो
Yes.
मेटल है जो हम
They
use
are
करते हैं.
heavy metals. Okay, they are heavy. That's why it's apart from the other elements also.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. I understand.
Okay. Notice that hydrogen is outside the
Sir?
main table. It does not fit in any particular group. So the properties of hydrogen do not match the properties of any single group. Okay.
Sir, can I tell why this is?
Yes, you can.
Sir, this is because hydrogen has only one proton and one electron. It does not. It does not have any neutrons, so it can. It will not have any any mass number or any mass number.
Sir,
Okay.
our last teacher explained us that the group A particles will go and give the group 7 or 8 their neutron electrons so that they can like this. She explained
Okay. Okay. She explained that
to make
usually, yes, yes. She explained like this that she said that group 1 and group 2 elements are quite easily reacting with group 7 and 8 because
yes, sir. And
group 6 and 7, sorry, not group 7 and 8, because 8 is alkaline elements and their outer motions are complete, so they are unreactive usually. So group 2 are reacting with group 6 because group 6 elements requires 2 electrons. Okay, so group 2 will reacting with group 6 and group 1 is reacting with group 7 because group 7 requires only 1 electron and group 1 have 1 electron in their outer motion. So
Sir,
they
I
are
have a question.
yes.
Sir, what will happen when these atoms or these elements will like if we can say that the beryllium from group 2 and from group 6 fluorine, these two will come together. How will
They
they
will
react to
combine
each other?
chemically. They will come close together. Yes, they will come close
they will
together, and they will reacting with each other, and they will make a new thing that is what's so called alloy. ALLOY, alloy. That is what's so called alloy. What is alloy? Alloy is a combination of 2 or more than 2 elements. Okay, when
Iron.
two or more than two
eh,
elements are joined together, they will form an alloy. And alloy, if you said that beryllium is combining with chlorine, so that will so-called beryllium fluoride will form there.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
It means an iron.
Sir, sir,
Ji beta.
is water an alloy?
What?
Because it has is water an alloy because it has hydrogen and oxygen?
Yeah, usually there most of the time high accidents are formed there. Okay, Abdullah Farooq, you can read this passage. Let me finish the lecture first, and then inshallah we will come towards the
Okay.
discussion. Come on, beta, hurry up.
The electron arrangements in the atoms explained by a new row starts when it does. An electron shell is full when it has 8 electrons in it, or 2 electrons in the case of helium. If another electron has to be added, it will have to go into the next shell. This means that every element in group 8 has 8 electrons in its outer electron shell. Every element in group 1 has 1 electron in the outer shell, and so on.
Okay, okay. So this passage clarifies you that in first shell, 2 electrons will be accommodating there, and in next second shell or third shell, it will be accommodating 8 electrons. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Now let's come towards a review of our today's lecture. Today we were discussing about the periodic table. So there are more than 100 elements, each with different properties, and the periodic table displays all the elements in order of their atomic number. Then we discussed about the zigzag line. The zigzag line represents what it separates the metals from non-metals. Okay, and on a zigzag line, the elements lying over there, they were so-called metalloids. The tables have several rows that is what so-called periods arranged on top from each other. As a result, elements with similar properties are arranged in vertical columns, and there is what so-called groups. Hydrogen is outside from the main table. Why it is so? Because it does not fit in any of the particular group. Okay, so this is all about our today's lecture.
Sir?
Dear students, just a minute, beta. Let me finish first and then I will come towards your questions. Go through from the following pages 36, 37, and 38 and learn the definition by heart. Okay, because today no test yourself is there, so you have to read all the passage and you have to read the important definitions. Inshallah,
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Sir, you taught us about ions, and on the ions page 36, there is test yourself. Question 1 to 4.
but that test yourself is already done in your previous lecture before summer
Yes,
vacation.
sir. Yes, sir, it is
After
done.
that, there is no test yourself. Inshallah, from tomorrow's lecture, there is a test yourself and we will discuss that.
Sir, our old teacher would make, she would make after when we have finished the lecture, at the end of the slides there are filling the blanks, and she would the lessons lecture we have learned, it is related to that, and she would ask the some students the answers of the filling the blanks.
We will, inshallah, we will do like that, inshallah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so inshallah, in our upcoming lecture, we will discuss about the alkali metals, halogens, and noble gases. Okay, different groups of the periodic table. If you have a question related to the lecture, you can ask, please.
No,
Yes,
sir.
we have 3
Okay.
minutes.
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
जी बेटा, अगर किसी का कोई भी क्वेश्चन है तो वो पूछ सकता है.